The reason why you're doing this is because you want attention, you want people to be there for you. But like, you've been catfishing for 6 years, right? Be honest.
Okay. I'll ask all those who are joining to
literally every social media, probably hundreds.
You gotta try to understand, like, it's not just about you, like, you're also hurting other people at hundreds.
Okay, I can't see who, but yes, thank you. Thank you for muting. Okay, there. I'll leave it right there. So thank you. And as I said, I really want to make this short so that we can get back to our business. Unfortunately, I will not be able to see the chat. So once I'm done, I will stop sharing, and then we can also start interacting after this. So the theme of this meeting is financial goal setting. And really, this is to get us to understand better how we do that. So to introduce myself, my name is Nyarazo Chaurura, and that's me right there. I carry many hats, but in this meeting, I choose to just go by one. I'm a financial coach. I really love financial education, and it is my desire that all of us may become free from financial slavery, if I can call it that. So to get the ball rolling, I want to start off with this saying from Annie Dillard, and she says, "How we spend our days is how we spend our life." When I saw this, I was like, wow, because really what we are saying is when you want to have a happy life, you don't have a happy life at the end. Or when you want to live a healthy life, you don't have a healthy life right at the end without having a healthy life daily. Right? So you have to have a healthy life every day, a happy life every day, a happy marriage every day, so that at the end of your life, you can say, I really had a happy life. So this will get us started, because when we have big goals, it's simply to say, you don't start from just saying, I want to build a big house. There are little steps that you have to take every day for you to finally have a big house. So every day you're laying brick upon brick, you're building the foundation, and on and on and on and on you go until at the end you say, I have built myself a big house. So let's start from right there, where I just want to help us develop the right mindset a little bit. Because when we talk of goal setting, it's not just calling out a dream that you have. So it's not to just say, I want $1 million. It's not like that. We need to have a shift in mindset, because some of us, because of the stressful situations we find ourselves in, we find ourselves just thinking about paying bills or putting food on the table. So that becomes the ceiling. So we need to raise the standard beyond mere paying bills. This, I'm trying to get us ready to start thinking big and dreaming big and setting bigger goals. And another thing, you need to believe that nothing is impossible if you believe. And I had to put believe twice on purpose. So believe that nothing is impossible if you believe. And this is a scripture from Mark chapter 9, verse 23. So we have to shift that mindset of doubting. Can I do this? In my family, no one has done that, but you are here. So we want you to believe. And the last thing, not really the last, but one thing I've also found is if you say, I'll try it out, I'll try, chances are very high that you will not do it. So don't try, but do with the full commitment to finish, because little by little you will get there. I want to give you an example. Just this, the beginning of this year, I said to myself, I want to run the 7 kilometer race, because before that I've just been running maybe 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometer, and a colleague of mine was saying, no, that's too small. At least aim for 3. So when I was trying, I said I want to run the 7 kilometer. I didn't say I want to try, because there's something wrong with that statement of trying. You may not. So I said I'm going to do it, and surely I did it. And next week I'm going for the 10 kilometer run. So don't try, but do. All of this trying to change our mindset. And also, just to add to that, so speak as if you can't fail. You say, I am doing this. I will do this. That's the mindset of an achiever, because we want you to have the right mindset for you to set your goals. And then tell someone who believes in you. And by this, I mean you need to just have an accountability partner. Because if you think of some things in your head and end there, they will definitely end there. But if you find someone who you can trust, who you know believes in you, not someone who will say, no one has ever done that, it's not possible. But you look for someone who believes in you. Great. And now I also want to just talk, this one I'll rush it through, because we also need to have tools ready for our goal setting. And when I talk of tools, I'm talking of you having a journal, you having a phone, because now you know in your phone you have your notebook, you can journal things in there, you set reminders, telling your friends. All of these are tools that you need in preparation for goal setting. Then now I want to talk to you about the kind of goals that you're going to set. So I think we have all heard of this acronym SMART goals. SMART meaning specific, and when you say specific, you're saying what exactly do you want to do? Maybe in this instance, let's look at you wanting to lose weight, for an example. Maybe you're 120 kilograms and you want to get to 180 kilograms. So you have to be specific that this is what I want to do, when, how, all those things. They have to be specific. Measurable, just to say, how will you know when you have reached it? So in this instance, if you are specific that I want to lose 20 kilograms and you are 120, then you will know that you have achieved when you are 100. Okay, so this is just an example, but there are different things that you can do as well. We can talk of, maybe you want to get out of debt and you say, how is it measurable? You will know, how will you know that you have reached it? The figure that you put there. So it should be measurable. There should be a number to it. Okay. And then we'll also say a goal should be achievable. In other words, is it in your power to accomplish it? Sometimes you may dream of owning maybe something that is not even yours. So we are saying, is it in your power to accomplish it? That's to say achievable. It should also be realistic. Okay, please mute your mic. Kathy, mute your mic. So we're saying, can you realistically achieve it, right? This goal that you are setting for yourself, can you realistically achieve it? And lastly, when exactly do you want to accomplish it? That's to say, it should be time bound. So a goal should be SMART. At the end of this, we're going to come up with our own SMART goals. So let's move on. So write the goal down. When you write it down, it crystallizes them, and it crystallizes your goals, and it gives them more force. So when you have a dream, and sometimes a dream keeps you up at night, or a goal, in this case, goal, dream, I'll just use them interchangeably. It keeps you up at night. So, but what is it? What is that goal of yours? Sometimes you feel very excited about it, and then sometimes you feel like, I think I'm just dreaming too big. But you need to write it down so that in those low moments, you can remember. You can remember that this is where I want to go. This is where I want to go. And then you set priorities because you probably have more than one goal. You will have maybe 5 goals or 3 goals that you want to achieve. So because they become competing priorities, then prioritize them. Have your goal number 1, which is say I have to do this one first, goal number 2, and goal number 3. Lastly, keep operational goals small. So what I'm saying is, because if I'm to give an example of you losing 20 kilograms or you building your big house, it's big, it's a big goal. But when you make it smaller, from where I started, you remember the saying I said of Annie, that the little days make up the life. So the bigger goal is made up of the little smaller goals. So those small goals, like I'm going to be jogging every day, or I'm going to go to the gym every day, those become the operational goals. Or I'm going to improve my diet, I will not be taking any starch, a lot of things. So we need to keep the operational goals small, and it kind of encourages you to go on. And this is one thing, again, that I would encourage you to do. I had written it on the tools for goal setting, but I chose to put it right here for a purpose, because there is power in vision when you see it. So I put this together. It's just an example. So from my vision board, I think you can already see that I have a goal of running a marathon. That is why I'm running 7 kilometers, 10 kilometers. A marathon is 21, half marathon, 42. And who knows, I'll be at the Comrades one of these good days. But anyway, so that it's to keep it in vision, in view. Or I have already written that book, but I put it there, I will say, I want to write a book. So I keep it there, and it's very clear. The same thing when you see that flag is just to say, I want to go to Israel. And the pond is just to say, I want to start a fish farm. So these become very visual to me. I can print this out and I display it where I can see it every day. So that even in the lowest moments of my life, I remind myself, or when I want to spend money, because sometimes you get money and you know that, oh, I have a trip to Israel, I can't be spending my money recklessly. Then I remember, because it's there, it's the visual, the picture is there. So I love the scripture from Habakkuk 2 verses 2 to 3. I like, because I saw course from here, this scripture, he also encouraged me at some point. He said, put the vision down, write it down, make it plain, right? So that he may run with it, who sees it. And for me, that is so powerful. So when you have a goal, whatever it is, maybe you want to see yourself debt free. What does debt free look like to you? Maybe debt free means you can now travel all over the world. Put pictures of the places you want to travel to. That will encourage you. That will encourage you to save. So going back down, I want to talk now of creating the right environment. Because when you have set your goal, you don't want anyone to be pushing you back. So I'm saying, what kind of people will you surround yourself with? So if I want to go to Israel, that's one of my goals. I will surround myself with people who also want to travel to Israel. I don't want to be surrounding myself with people who see travel as a waste of money, for example, because for me, it's important that I go, you know? And what time will you start or end your day to attain such a thing? Because you can't afford to be sleeping 10 hours a day, guys. If you have a goal, you can't. So it means you have to wake up earlier or sleep later. How will you improve your finances to meet your goal? So it's the same thing for me. I want to go to Israel. I can't afford to be eating KFC every day. I have to stop. I have to now put that money aside because I have a goal. I need to know anyway, those are part of the smart goals. You need to know how much it costs you to go to Israel so that you also start preparing for it. And what new habits will you adopt? Because maybe you need more money, so you are going to start saving. Maybe that becomes a new habit that you are doing. On and on and on and on it goes. So I have this activity that I want us to do after all this that I've done. So just imagine there is a man who's been wrongly accused of a crime. So that's to say he didn't commit the crime, but he's been accused and he's been sentenced to life in prison. He's probably a 30-year-old male who with a very long life ahead of him. So I want you in the chat box to type the different activities or small operational goals that you think he can do to get himself out of prison. So I've put a little note by the corner just to say he should come up with a 10-year plan. And in this plan, he intends to study law and become his own lawyer. But now you need to help him because that's his big goal. His big goal is to study law and be his own lawyer. But there's a lot now after we've learned that you need to have SMART goals and then you need to have smaller operational goals. How do you think he's going to do that? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now and then I'm going to check the chat. I'm going to check the chat box. I want you to tell me what little things he can do to prepare the 10-year plan for him to get out of prison. So I'm waiting. Just type in the chat box. We have 12 minutes left, so please get the answers ready. What would you tell this guy? I don't see anything in the chat box. Or unless you want to talk, you can also unmute. They said put a sketch of the plan. You want me to put a sketch of the plan? Or that's the advice you give him, to put a sketch of the plan? Maybe, yes. He should have a plan actually. That's very true. What do you think he should do? Won't you tell him if you want to get a law degree, you need to study, you need to register with the university. He needs to start making new friends who encourage him to study. Buy and read books on law. Excellent, that's true. So in the UK, you have to behave well, don't get in fights, correct, nice. Register with law school, study every day, write a book while in the prison. Yes. So we are telling him all of these things that he can do. Maybe you didn't understand my question, but anyway, I will share the slide. But these are the little operational goals that he needs to do. He needs to probably also look for funding. How will he get funding while he's in prison to register? Maybe he will get a scholarship. So you encourage him to do all of these things. Let me share my screen again. So that we continue. I think I was, yeah. This was the activity. Yes, so we have advised him to do a lot of things. So what I want to do is to put these small operational goals into something smart. So setting smaller goals. So each of these should be based on the previous plan. So the first one, you set your lifetime goal, and the lifetime goal of this prisoner is to get out of prison, right? He wants to get out of prison, and the only way he can do that is to do law, because there's no one he can't afford for now to get a lawyer. But maybe that can also be part of his plan, that while he's studying, he can also be looking for lawyers that would want to represent him, right? So you also set a 5-year plan, or a 10-year, in that case, we've said 10 years. So you set a 5-year plan of smaller goals to say, in 5 years, I should have completed my degree, I should have enrolled in law school, I should have done whatever it is that, I should, And then number 3, we move now down to a smaller plan, because 5 years is also a long time. We move down to 1 year. So 1 year of progressively smaller goals that you should reach to achieve your lifetime goals. And in a year, what is it that a person could have done? Probably finished his first semester. In a year, he should have probably done something in that prison to show that he's actually developing. He should, and then on and on. You create a 6-month plan, a 1-month plan, and then finally you end up with your daily to-do lists. And it brings it down. So when we're now talking of the to-do list, we're saying today, when I wake up, I'm going to do this. So you see now, it's these small habits that make the bigger goal. So if you want to set your lifetime goal, it should then have these smaller goals to go with it. But here, this is the last slide, which I also want you to think of the goal that is on your heart. And I want it to be a smart example. So in this meeting, you'll probably tell me maybe just in a blanket goal. Maybe if you can make it smart, that would be nice. But if you have this one goal, maybe give us an example and we will help you to develop the operational goals for that one. So anyone who can share one goal that is on his or her heart. I'll stop sharing so that I can see the chat box. Yes, anyone who wants to tell us a goal, and then we try to operationalize that goal. Right, you want to build your mansion. Yes, so we have, Dr. Ndifon wants to build a mansion. So how can we do this? So we want to make it smart. So when should this mansion be built? It should have a timeline. By the way, we said a goal should be smart. So help me here. If we are to be specific, she says she wants to build the mansion, but that's not specific. This is like an overall goal. It's just broad. So we will ask, you want to build a mansion, maybe where, right? You will say, I want to build my mansion in Windhoek, and you want to build your mansion by when, because it should also be time bound. Probably you will say in 2 years' time, depending on how you're buying your mansion, maybe, or you're building it, whether you're getting a loan or you're having to raise the money on your own. So we give it a time frame. What else? What else should we ask, or what else should we input into this one who wants to build a mansion? Your answers, please. We're running out of time. What else would you want to know? If she's to build her mansion, we said we need to know where she wants to build the mansion, when she wants to build the mansion. Tawanda wants to talk. Okay, so I'll allow you to unmute and talk.
Okay, so you said smart. The S is for what? Specific?
Yes.
How many rooms does the mansion have? Where is it?
Right. How many rooms?
Oh yeah, I see Plantino also wrote how, who is going to, anyway, I'll continue with the SMART.
Mhm.
Measurable. Maybe you can come in there.
Measurable is how much is it going to cost you? It can be the price, or it can be like for us to know. Yes, Mike is also saying how much, but for us to know that it's a mansion, how many rooms are we looking at? It should be
Yeah,
measurable.
and is it something that's attainable by Dr. Ndifun? Yeah, attainable. The R is what?
So attainable, that's also to say, is it within your power to do
Yes.
it? R is realistic.
Is it realistic? I think it is.
Yes, depending on the rooms, right? So if you
Yes.
say 10 rooms, is that realistic for you, or things
Yeah.
like that?
And the timelines, when does she want to have the mansion built or bought?
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
so the timelines would determine what she does on a daily basis.
Correct. So that's now where I wanted to go, because now we have described the SMART goal. So we want to know now, what are the daily habits that will make up the bigger goal? What are the daily habits that she has to do to actually build a house? Anyone? Anyone? What are the daily habits? I'm thinking she must stop eating KFC every day. This is another example. So that this money, because each KFC is probably equal to 10 bricks. But yeah, this is just an example. What else? What are daily the daily operational goals that she can do, or the habits that she can start embarking on for her to build her mansion? Anyone else? Can you help her build her mansion? Yes, correct. Thank you, Blantina. So get a plan, find the builder, buy the materials, research on where she can source her materials. Correct. So these become the different activities that come into play. So depending on what your goal is, thank you so much for all your contributions. But depending on what the goal is, so it differs. If it's Oh, yes, joint saving scheme. That's very true. So that you also have more money for this. So, yeah, depending really on what it is that you want to achieve, your goal, you have to then develop daily habits. So, every morning when you wake up, you remind yourself, remember the visual board, you remind yourself of where you're going. Have a picture of that mansion, put it on your wall, so that when you wake up every morning, when you go to sleep every night, that's what you see. And there's something that it does to you, and also the change in mindset. So I really want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope this has been helpful, and I would love for you to send me your goals if you can. I would love to hear them, and then we can help each other to design how you can actually attain your goals, right? So if you can send me a WhatsApp. Let me just share my screen for the last time. There is, I think there is my contact details just in case. There we go. Not there. So those are my contact details, the WhatsApp number, and then I'll also encourage you to go on my blog to just read some of the articles that are there. I'll also encourage you to get a copy of this book, How Can My Money Be Enough? If you need it, get in touch with me. It goes for $10 only, 10 American dollars. And then I can find ways of sending it to you. So thank you so much for joining me today. We look forward to the next Zoom meeting in February. Have a lovely day. You can also unmute and just say hello. I think we still have a bit of time.
Hi, everybody. Happy Nyari.
Hi, thank you, Fungai. And thank you all for joining. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
You too.
much, Nari. Love keeping on.
Thank
Thank you, Nari.
you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.